Hello and welcome back, my friends. Today I wanted to share with you some thoughts and ideas pertaining to starting a raised bed in your garden, whether you're looking to expand on your current design or you're just getting started and you're thinking about starting some new raised beds. Well, I've got some information I want to share with you. Now, a raised bed can actually accomplish many different things for a gardener. One being is that you can control the soil medium in which you're growing in. That could be very powerful. Perhaps you live in the desert, or you've got some really heavy clay soil or just really deteriorated soil with no life in there, and you're looking to get growing right away some high quality food. You might be looking into a raised bed garden. Or perhaps you have a pest problem, something like gophers coming in, eating the roots of your plants, pulling down your crops, taking them out. You just haven't been able to get a grip on it. Raised bed can be a great alternative for you. You can line the bottom of your raised bed with a hardware cloth, and that'll keep those gophers out. Or perhaps you're just looking for easier access. You may even be dealing with some sort of a health issue. You need to get those crops higher off the ground so you're not stooping, bending over, having to deal with maintaining, watering, and harvesting from your crops. A raised bed can accomplish that for you as well. So regardless of your particular situation, you've decided you want to grow in a raised bed, and you start putting your materials list together. You're going to go down to the hardware store, pick up whatever it is you need to build your bed, and get it filled with some soil and start growing. And the sticker shock starts to set in. Not only is the products to actually build the bed quite expensive in most cases, and you can use different materials to keep the price down. As you can see here in this example, where I literally built these raised beds using 3-foot T-posts, chicken wire, and cardboard. I then filled the majority of these beds using straw bales, and then on top of the straw I put down a layer of wood chips. That way I only had a small amount of gap that I had to fill using store-bought compost, so I kept my costs down quite a bit, and this worked out very well. I had good success, so I'd encourage you, if you're trying to keep the price down, you've got a larger design, just think outside the box, get creative, you can make it happen. And you can use different materials to keep the price down. But when it actually comes to filling the bed with soil, that's when a lot of people get shocked to find out that the most expensive part of building a raised bed is actually filling it with high quality organic compost and growing soil. Now, before I go any further talking about building a raised bed, I want to mention hugelkultur, which is a German concept word which means mound culture or hill culture. And what it encompasses is taking organic material, tree stumps, branches, leaf debris, grass clippings, and using that as part of the base or the core of your raised bed. And it's a natural raised bed. You can see behind me, I've got a hugelkultur here and another one right behind me over here. And these were built not having to buy any materials whatsoever. So there is a way to do this on the cheap if you're looking to save some money or just have a more natural appearance. Hugelkultur can accomplish that for you. It's not for everybody, and I understand that, but it definitely works. It's a great option. I've got many videos covering that topic, so check it out. I'll put a playlist below if you want to look more into that. So you've got your raised bed built, and I wanted to point out this bed over here. I have yet to actually top it off with this year's fresh compost and get planting for spring. We're still in the winter time, but this bed, I just wanted to mention, was built for free. I had scoured on Craigslist until I found somebody who was actually trying to get rid of these retaining wall bricks, and that can be quite a hassle for somebody who's looking to clear some space. So although I didn't pay actual money for them, it did cost me some work and labor, and it was quite a bit of work. I had to have a vehicle that was able to transport all this weight. I had to make a couple runs in a large van, but I was able to build this bed for free. And when it came time to fill it, and I've got 2 of these beds, I knew it was going to cost a fortune to actually bring in some outsourced material. And let me give you an idea of what the cost might be. Now, if you head down to your local big box store, sounds like we got a chicken just laid an egg, but if you head down to your local big box store to go pick up some good quality bagged organic compost or growing soil to add into your raised bed, what you're going to find is generally about 1.5 cubic feet is going to cost you about $6 to $7. And a 3 cubic foot bag is going to be somewhere in the range of $7 to $8, and that's the prices that I find around here. So let's do the math real quick. Let's say you've got 200 cubic feet to fill, and let's say you were buying the 3 cubic foot bags. Well, you're going to need what? You're going to need about 65 of those 3 cubic foot bags to fill a bed like this. It's going to cost you over $400. And it's not going to be all that much cheaper to have something delivered and dumped in the front, not to mention you're going to have to bring it back wheelbarrow by wheelbarrow load. Now imagine if you had 2 or 3 of these. the price can really add up. So how do you bring the price down and not sacrifice the medium in which you're growing in? So what I did is I encompassed the best of both worlds, and I took the ideas of hugelkultur and incorporated it into my raised bed, essentially making a hidden hugelkultur bed. So the first 3/4 of these beds were filled up with different organic debris that was located right here on site. So branches, tree stumps, leaves, grass clippings, what have you. And that saved me so much money, because now I only had to fill the top 8 to 10 inches of my bed with some soil. And generally 8 to 10 inches is going to be just fine for most plants. Anything that has a deeper taproot that shoots down even further, by the time it gets down there, a lot of those materials are already going to be breaking down, and they're going to be providing nutrients and some moisture for those plants with the deeper root systems as well. So there's really nothing to fear when it comes to this style of gardening. So with so much less soil required now to fill up the raised bed, maybe you might be able to create that right on site. One of the techniques I employed was to scrape back some of my pathways where wood chips have been breaking down for years, and I harvested some of the soil by sifting out that broke down material to create my own compost. But if you don't have that luxury, you could just buy less soil from the store, which is going to end up saving you a bunch of money. And I can tell you after having done this that the benefits are not just the initial cost savings, but it's actually what you're able to produce in these garden beds, the high quality of produce. Really, by harnessing those hugelkultur techniques, not only are we bringing in a lot more diversity and organic material into the garden bed than if we were just to fill it completely with a sterile store-bought mix, but we're introducing different microbes and fungal properties that are all good for the garden bed and help to create just a really healthy environment for your plants to grow. Another great thing about this idea is this could work for a front yard garden if you just wanted to have a nice clean raised bed look, or maybe you live in a neighborhood that's controlled by HOA and they wouldn't allow something like a hugelkultur. That's sad, but it's true. Then you can have a hidden hugelkultur in your raised bed and still be practicing permaculture, hugelkultur gardening, and getting all the benefits and the cost savings from that. Well, that's going to do it for now, everyone. I sure do appreciate you tuning in to today's video. If you found it helpful or entertaining in any way, I sure would appreciate if you gave the video a rating. If you haven't yet, consider subscribing. New videos every week, sometimes every day. And we're always updating you on all the different projects growing on around here. So with that, I want to wish you all a great one. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Take care. I'll be talking to you again soon.